everybody to the Juvenile Justice Subcommittee meeting. But Anya, if you could help me with introductions, that would be great.
I will do that. So, Joy, do you mind like putting the meeting agenda down so people can see each other
Okay.
better? Because right now we're on the welcome bit and roll call for the committee members as well as introduction of new people and guests. Okay, I'm trying to be helpful. Now I need to, like Molly, you take most of my screen, and that means I don't see other people. So I'm sure there's a button I can push. It's not your fault, Molly. It's the way my thing is set up. It's always a pleasure to see you. Okay, I'll just go by. So, good morning and welcome. So Molly Rogers, who is the chair of this committee, is traveling to Salem, I believe, to take part in the legislative hearing, which is of utmost importance to us today. So therefore, our meeting will adjourn as soon as we possibly can to give her an opportunity to prepare, and for us and for those of you who might be interested to log in into the legislative session and so forth. So with the roll call, Joy, do you have a list of committee members? We'll do the roll call and then we'll introduce new people who are joining us. Or rather,
Yes,
them
I
introduce
do.
themselves.
Yes, I do. So I'm gonna go to the roll call, and if you hear your name, you can just say present, or you can just raise your hands. And there's a few other people coming in, Brian and Kim Lay. Um, okay, yeah, they're in now. Okay, so I'm gonna start the roll call. First on the list is Zan Audro.
Andrew Copeland? Is that the one?
No, that's Jan Audro, but I'll
Oh,
take note of
oh,
that as
sorry.
well.
My bad.
No problem.
Well,
Next,
appreciate your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
next up we have Sarah Collins, Sam Coe,
Sam is here.
Kim Lay,
I'm here.
thank you, Andy Leonard, Tabitha Lewis, Deborah Martin, Christina McMahon, Maricela Ortega, Molly Rogers,
I am here.
okay, and last we have Kiwi Wilson. Okay, I'm gonna pass it back to you, Anya.
So thank you, Joy. So Joy, did we mention our distinguished guests who keep coming to our meetings all the time? But most importantly, we need to introduce our new council member and a new member of the Juvenile Justice Committee, and that's Chief Copeland, who now disappeared from the screen. There you are, Chief. To you, so this is like an extremely important and wonderful, joyous moment, Chief, to have you here.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
You're stepping in John Teague's shoes again. So
Yes.
now you took over Kaiser Police Department after John retired, and now we're so thrilled to have you join the committee. For those of you who've been connected with the Youth Development Council long enough, you know that Chief Teague has been an extremely important member of the group and created an amazing venue for the Youth Development Council to be able to fulfill the role vis-a-vis federal responsibilities and helped Lindsay and Lindsay's predecessor for the compliance matter is so much in this world. So Chief, we're thrilled to have you. Molly, I don't know, Brian, do you want to say? To just re-emphasize how important and how wonderful his presence is.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, Chief Copeland. I know that this is a busy time of year, so we haven't been able to, but I'm looking forward to that. Welcome to our committee. And similar, I'm confident that your perspective from law enforcement will be helpful for us as we start going through our JCP prevention and our SAG work. And so welcome.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
I'll just jump in and just ditto Molly, ditto you, Anya. Chief, appreciate you being here. Appreciate showing up. It's great to have you on our council. I'm sorry I can't stay for the meeting for very long. I've got another engagement, but also welcome to our other like guests and folks. I see Annette and I see Caroline and I see a couple of, I see OIAs here represented. I know you guys will get to those other introductions or hellos, but just appreciate everybody coming together as a part of our Juvenile Justice Committee. Easily the most active and engaged of our committees, given all the work that needs to happen, that is happening with just such great like effectiveness and collaboration and consideration. So thanks so much, everybody.
This is Melissa Gallardo. Brian, I know you introduced yourself in the chat, but can you also just introduce yourself on the video?
Brian Detman, Youth Development Oregon Director. Thanks. I'm always reminding people, like, say your name, and there I go. I forgot.
Well, thank you, Brian, for the introduction, and Melissa for keeping the reminding things going so we are on track. Thank you. So we also have our, like, I don't want to call them guests. They're the members of the Juvenile Justice Committee, although they are not members of the Youth Development Council. By virtue of this group, we're always eager to invite additional partners to hear their perspective on things and always appreciate that. So Carolyn, I'm seeing you, right? You're right under my picture now that I figured out how to get everybody in the same sort of frame. Do you want to say, like, because we have a lot of new people here, so just, you know.
Yeah, thanks, Anya. So I'm Caroline Meyer with JDIP, which is part of OJD, that just stands for Juvenile Delinquency Improvement Program. And Nella Hogberg is my coworker, and she typically attends these meetings, but she is out, and so I get to attend when she's not. So happy to be here with all of you doing this important work.
Always happy to see you. And Annette, you've been a tremendous addition and partner to this group. Do you mind just saying a couple of words? Who you with? Annette, can you hear me? Well, while Annette is, I don't know if you could hear me or not, but we will come back to you. And now we have a new partner, or rather we'll have an old partner represented by a new person, which is Oregon Youth Authority and Caitlin. I just got a message from Sandra that you have taken over Debbie Martin's position. So you will be the connection between Oregon Youth Authority and the Juvenile Justice Committee and possibly the Youth Development Council as well. So you just want to say a couple of words? I'm sure, I don't know, how long have you known about this? We just learned about it 10 minutes ago.
That one, yeah. So hi, everyone. Thanks for that, Anya. As Anya said, I am on a very short rotation with OYA, filling in behind Debbie. I originally come from the Oregon Department of Corrections, so the adult field of criminal justice. This is my 12th day on the job, so please be gentle with me. Um, I am just learning out about this meeting, so I will be mostly listening and absorbing, but I'm really excited to be here and to learn from you all and participate. So thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. And now I see Annette's picture and then I see Annette's name. So hopefully that means that you have a better connection now and you can speak.
I do. Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm all set. Annette Magicodemy, co-chair of the System of Care Advisory Council and also a senior program manager with Community Healing Initiatives, POIC, representing family voice, youth impacted by the juvenile justice system. And I'm glad to be here.
Wonderful. It's been such a delight to have you with us for over the last few months. So I see two people I don't recognize, and it's just because possibly me, but Melania? Melania, I'm sorry if I just messed up your
That's
name.
okay. It autocorrects to Melania all the time. I'm
I did
getting over
catch
it.
Sorry.
I'm not actually sure how I ended up in this space, but I'm happy to be here. I am the executive director of the Partnership Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse out here in Lincoln County on the edge of
Awesome.
the world. And we're partnering closely now with our County Juvenile Justice Department, and our McKinney-Vento liaison said, "You should be in this room." And I said, "Okay." So here I am. And we'll see if it fits better for one of them to be here or for me to continue work with this group. So thanks for welcoming me.
Well, I hope you don't get discouraged and will join us again. It's always great to have new partners at the table. And now, Christina.
Yes, hello. My name is Christina. I am actually doing a career connected learning STEAM grant reporting specialist position with Southern Oregon Education Service District and working with them on their current juvenile justice grant that is programming currently. So I get to work with Lawrence White as our manager over there, and I was just asked to be here today and observe.
Fantastic. And I'm sure Lawrence is the best grant manager you've ever encountered.
He's pretty amazing.
Awesome. Awesome. We found out that ourselves, right? People. And so we have a couple of staff people. So Molly, if that's okay, we will just do very quickly what every one of us does. And since I'm talking, I'll just say that. So I'm Anya Sikin. I'm the Associate Director of Youth Development, Oregon. And juvenile justice, juvenile crime prevention is what I'm trying to do with your help, because that task would be absolutely impossible without the input we receive from the Juvenile Justice Committee and the support of my agency, of course. And I have amazing staff here. Joy puts everything together in the glue that binds. So usually you will be receiving emails from Joy.
Thanks, Anya. I'm Joy Snyder. I'm the admin specialist for prevention and justice, and it's great to meet you all.
Thank you, Joy. Now, Melissa, I'm looking at you because you keep all of us like on track in general terms and connects the juvenile justice work to the rest of the YDC work. And today you remind us, as always, to introduce ourselves.
I try. Melissa Gallardo. I provide executive support for Youth Development Division, and I'm also the council administrator for the Youth Development Council. And I'm here just as Joy's backup, so I'll probably go off camera and just be here in case the need arises. Thanks. It's great to see so many people here. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. And now Lindsay plays a super important role in our work, as she is the federal compliance monitor, and she makes sure that Oregon adheres to the requirements of the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act. And her recent accomplishment is two, actually. One, we're in full compliance with the federal act as of right now. And two, she managed to invite Chief Copeland to join the YDC. So Lindsay, do you want to say hello?
Hi, yep. I'm Lindsay Schoonover, compliance monitor. for Youth Development Oregon.
Thank you, Lindsay. And now, absolutely not the least, but I think it's the last person of our staff, and that would be Lawrence White. Not only he is an excellent grant manager, his real job is, Lawrence, do you want to tell you what your real job is?
Well, thank you, Anya, and thank you everyone for having me. My name is Lawrence White. I am the Racial and Ethnic Disparity Coordinator for the Youth Development Oregon. Want to thank Christina for being here and for the wonderful compliment, and it's always great to see you all.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So Molly, I think we've completed the round of introductions.
We did, and that was wonderful. I am so excited to
I think we lost the chair. Molly, she's probably traveling. Well, I know she's traveling. I don't know. Sometimes you hit like a dead zone on I-5 because that's where I assume she is. So I think, yeah, so let's just start our first item on the agenda because hopefully Molly will join us as quickly as she can. So the 2025-2027 Juvenile Crime Prevention Plans review process. So we have several peers who have been engaged in this work over the past few years, but we also have new people who are just joining, and they probably need a little more information about what it is. But in a nutshell, in Oregon, there's Molly, and I'm sure she'll help me with that. So the law requires that the Youth Development Council will approve allocations and approve the content of the juvenile crime prevention plans that come from all 36 counties in Oregon and all 9 federally recognized tribes. So that's a huge task that this committee has been delegated to do by the Youth Development Council. So what we usually do, we receive the plans. So currently we received, Joy, how many? About less than a dozen. But it's okay, no panic, because the due date is March 31st, which means we'll get a ton of them on March 31st by the end of the work hours. And that's not a I don't mean it as a bad thing, because that's usually how things work. I would be the one doing things like that myself, maybe. Hopefully not always. But anyway, so once all the plans are in, Joy has been the person who creates spreadsheets or other smart sheets. We'll put all the information in. And I don't know, Joy, not to put you on the spot, could you share while I'm blabbing on the screen, not the current ones because we're just populating the smart sheets, but the one that we did 2 years ago for fiscal year 23, 25. So just people get a sense of what it looks like. And
Sure.
while Joe is finding it, so every county and every tribe needs to come up with a juvenile crime prevention plan, which is technically an application for the funding. The difference between our competitive grants and juvenile crime prevention funds, they're not competitive. They're distributed through an allocation formula. The formula is fairly simple. It's population-based. We're looking at population of kids 0 to 17, because that's the population potentially for youth services. So the plans are coming in, and it is the job of this committee to review them and present our recommendations to the Youth Development Council. Now, the important date to remember, the council will meet in June. I think it's June 12th, and they will need to approve the plans. Without the council approval, the plans are not valid. So we really need to get to work. And Molly, I will let you speak in a second as soon as you're ready. But in the past, I'm just giving people an update like what we've done before. So, well, once mostly Joy and I will populate this smart sheet, you will get access to it, and there'll be a review process. So Lawrence here, his main responsibility will be to review whether the plans appropriately responded to cultural appropriateness requirement of the plan. But everybody has own sort of set of eyes to look at the plans and see whether they're meeting their expectations.
So what we did, so Anya, thank you, great. And I'm sorry, it popped off. The Zoom and my cell phone and I are all not necessarily good friends. Spot on. I do want to share that we have a minimum grant that each county receives, and then the population piece. And our committee, we don't have a budget yet, correct, through the Department of Education and the new continuum, which is why I'm down in Salem today to testify for that budget. So what we're looking at right now is approving the plans. The actual budget allocation comes a little bit, the final budget allocation comes a little bit later. Is that correct, Anya?
Absolutely correct. But as of today, the plans are being submitted with the kind of using the current allocations as a proxy.
Yes, and so we need to, and last time we did teams of 2 council members, 2 juvenile justice subcommittee members each, and we divided the plans up evenly across the teams. And so I think we each had to review, I want to say maybe 8 plans total. Is that correct? Oh, you didn't hear any of that. Last time we divided them up equally.
I'm just nodding my head is correct.
Okay, okay. We divided them up. We each had to do about 8 plans. That was kind of where we were at. And is that the process we want to use this year? That would be my recommendation, but I would be interested to hear from him and Sam and others that did it last time to just see if that was manageable, and kind of see where we're at. Sam, did you have any thoughts?
I'll just do what Molly and Anya tells me to do.
And we appreciate that, Sam. Anya, how did you feel like it went last time?
So I think it went well, but I'm also recognizing that we have a few people who have not been engaged in this work over as many biennial as some of us have. So it might be helpful, and I'm just offering it as a suggestion. Maybe have a little overview meeting, like a pre-meeting before the plan. So maybe if you don't mind, I will schedule something with Joy's help, of course. Maybe once the sheets are populated and just before we share them with you. So basically we'll call a meeting, just an information. This is what the plan is expected to look like. This is what we're looking for. Would that be something people feel comfortable with, interested? And you don't have to attend. If you know what you're doing, that's totally fine.
And I think that would be great, especially with the smart sheets. They're great, but they also require a little bit of learning how to work with them. So I think that would be a good tool that we could do just a short presentation on.
So with time-wise, what I'm thinking, and we're not going to schedule it now because that will probably take 35 minutes of our time. But once the smart sheets get in the information that we've received, and I'm thinking that if plans are due by the 31st, but we also granted a few extensions for people who want to use the most current data in juvenile justice, because Oregon News Authority has not published the data until the end of March. So granted people 2 weeks to those who wanted to use calendar year 24 data. So they have an additional 2 weeks, so their plans will be expected to arrive by April 15th, but it doesn't mean that we need to wait until then. So as soon as we have a bulk of information in, then maybe we should schedule, I don't know, like an overview. Doesn't have to be long. 30 minutes would be how to use the smart sheet, how to put information in, what to look for, and so forth. Would that be something agreeable to everyone? I see one thumb up. I see one head nodding. I have 2 thumbs up. Sounds like it's a good idea. So you will get the invite, and to the people who are joining us because you were curious, like Christina, and I'm now not gonna mess up the name, I'm hoping, Milaya. So if you're curious in joining us, that is completely up to you. We cannot force you, but we would always welcome additional sets of eyes. So you will expect an email coming from Joy.
That is great. Thanks, Anya. Thanks, Joy, for helping us get that set up.
And another thing what I just crossed my mind, but I don't know if it's doable. We can also record that meeting because we always record meetings anyway. So if you are not able to join us on that particular day and time, we will send you the recording. Would that be okay? Okay, I see heads nodding. I think we're in good shape. Thank you so much, honestly. It's an interest. I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's also something that gives you an insight on what communities are doing around juvenile crime prevention across the state. And just know that every one of them will be different from each other.
And also, it really provides great feedback to the counties. They take a lot of time and pride to do their plans, and so we're really grateful that you guys will be willing to do and help us out with that. So thank you. So that's our plan update. Now we can continue on our agenda.
The detention guidelines.
Yeah, the detention guidelines. And so detention guidelines are coming along wonderfully. We had originally thought it was going to be a 3-month process, and we're now at a year. And that is absolutely okay because the product that I think is coming out is really kind of beautiful. We're on our last 2 sections in April, and then we will be doing a massive kind of update and rewrite, and then we will be bringing them to the Juvenile Justice Subcommittee, hopefully in May. That one. Any thoughts or questions?
My only thing that May might be very busy with the JCP plans.
Absolutely. It might be, and there's not the same timeline on the detention guidelines as there is on the plan reviews. And so of course we'll fit it in. But yes, probably at our June meeting, we'll have some downtime because we'll have been finished with our plans. So the hope is though in the next, by the next year, by this time we have a complete set of guidelines.
Awesome. Any
It-
questions
Yeah, any
about
questions? Annette, I know that you have really joined us with that process. I'd love to hear your comments.
Yeah, for me, it's been going really well. I think it's very well thought out and intentionality around making sure kids get what they need and families feel supported as well as their children navigate that system. So, yeah, my times that I participated, it's gone very well. And I feel like what I've added to it has been considered and talked about. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you brought a really great voice to our table that was missing, so thank you. Okay. And now we can move on to our next agenda item. This is Anya. Anya, are you ready to talk about probation
Yes.
reform?
Yes. Well, first, I wanted to again acknowledge Lindsay mainly because of Lindsay's work and participation from law enforcement detention facilities. Oregon Youth Authority were able to maintain a reliable, good system of monitoring compliance with the federal act. So again, Lindsay, thank you. And thank you all who participated. So because of her work, we were entitled to our full fiscal year 24 allocation from the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. And I don't know how their calculation work. It's also population based. I guess either they had more money or Oregon's population grew, which I'm not sure which way, but we got a few additional dollars to it. And fiscal year 24 is the first year of our 3-year plan, and we talked about it, but it was everything when we submit a plan, and by the time we got money approved, a couple of years passed. But this is time when we can actually now start planning for the probation reform because we have some funding. So we have about $160,000 that could be issued as a grant to a community that wants to look at internally at the probation services within the community, or we can do something different. So this is just today, I just wanted to mention that we have the funds and we can start planning. And Caroline, it would be great if we could connect with the work of the Juvenile Court Improvement Project and kind of connect our efforts here. So I don't know if we can if we have enough information to make any decisions right now, but maybe Molly, Caroline, Lawrence, and who else was at well, Debbie was at the original group as well. So Caitlin, maybe you could join us as well. Just have a conversation like what it might look like and so forth. We'll also, those of you who receive funds, will also have some funding that will be available for community services. Oh, Lawrence, what else do we have? Community services and delinquency prevention. So it's possible that some of the community-based services could be aligned with the probation reform, as well as delinquency prevention. So I would suggest we have a conversation and then bring our thoughts to the Juvenile Justice Committee, if not at the next meeting, but then in June.
I agree. So we went back. So for everybody, the new members, Alex and everyone else, just to kind of do a little bit of history, about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago now, there was a team of us that were invited as the state of Oregon to partner with the Annie Casey Foundation for a very intense one-day training back in Baltimore, Maryland, on the steps for probation reform. And then our committee chose that back then as the next 3-year plan for our federal funding, and it was accepted. And so we did, Debbie Martin, myself, Maricelo Ortega, Anya, Lawrence was with us, and I'm trying to think if there was one other person. we went back and learned how to kind of start mapping the system and then how to start working on implementing probation reform. And so it might be really beneficial for this group for us to do just a 15-minute slideshow, maybe also in June, to really outline what probation reform consists of, so that as we put out an RFP for it, we the whole committee feels confident that we know what we're looking at. Does that sound reasonable, Anya?
It definitely sounds reasonable to me, but it's really a question to the committee.
Yes. Now, but am I kind of timelined right?
Yes, absolutely, because we were very, how do I put it? We still have other federal funds that need to be released first. So
Yes.
there is no like super rush for the fiscal year 24. However, and I know Sam has his hand up, and I don't know if he's gonna say what I'm gonna say. Given the changing schedule with the federal office, the sooner we can get the funds out, probably the better.
So really that June meeting may need to be a funding kind of decision meeting.
Yes. So
Okay.
Sam has his hand up. Sam?
So when Molly said RFP, that just raised a lot of kind of like red flags in my head, because ODE's procurement unit takes a long time, and we would have to backdate it, and unless like Anya guys already submitted the PRFs, it may take like 8 or 9 months. I'm just letting you know, like.
No, sorry, Sam. I used the wrong terminology. It's not an
Okay.
RFP in that sense. It's what we do with our grant, like how we currently do grant requests. So yes,
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
Thank you.
And another thing is the federal funds, they don't have to be put through a competitive process. If as a group we can identify a self-volunteering community that would like to take this project on, then it could be a direct award as well. With the federal rules, unless it goes over $250,000, then we don't need to put it through a competitive. So there's that. But I think the sooner we start like thinking and visualizing what that probation reform will look like for us in the state of Oregon, be it in one county or maybe with Caroline's connection put statewide through the courts, we don't know that. So maybe this is what we need to think about until we meet in June. We're gonna come with thoughts, and that yes, Molly, will be great if we will put together some presentations to kind of bring people up to speed. I just didn't want it to sit and then we'll wait for it for another half a year. We kind of
Yes.
keep it on on our to-do list.
Well, and I also think before we have the meeting in June, we can send out the toolkit that we all kind of learned from.
Absolutely. So we'll send some information out.
Yeah. So others, Kim or Alex, any other committee members, just kind of thoughts? I know it might be like drinking a little bit from a fire hose, Alex, so I apologize. By no means am I asking you to respond, just if there's any observations. Silence is approval for me, just so everybody knows.
Thanks so. Okay,
that'll be a good process. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you. And I think we only have one item on the agenda, which is really the conference.
Yeah, so CJJ conference is coming up at the end of May. It's really the Criminal Coalition for Juvenile Justice. I'll give everybody just a little bit of background, and then Anya, you can say whatever piece that I miss. Is really a gathering in Washington, D.C. with some workshops on best practices, and there will be workshops on probation reform, I am confident. So any of our committee members that want to learn more about kind of the national perspective with probation reform, There will also be a lot of youth voice and youth-led work at the 2025 conference. So if you have an interest in youth committees or youth voice, it's also a great committee for that. It's also a time where we meet with the other SAGs across the United States. So there's and territories, and we have a business meeting for the CJJ. We've been lucky enough in the past to have the National Juvenile Justice Specialist. She retired this last year on her own choice, and that's Anya on the board. Of definitely involved with the committee and the work that the committees do on CJJ. And that's what I know, Anya.
Awesome. Thank you, Molly. For those of you who are new to this group, SAG stands for State Advisory Group. And SAG is technically the Youth Development Council. That responsibility of the council that is related to the federal funds and federal policies and so forth. So those of you who are members of the Youth Development Council, you are members of the SAG, which means you could go to this conference and we have funding to support your participation. It becomes a little challenging for us if you are not a member of the Youth Development Council, but maybe we could work something out. But so if you're a member of the council and if you're interested in attending, please let Joe and me know. And we'll see what we will start the process. I don't think they have an agenda yet because I was on a phone call with the coalition yesterday and they're in their final moments of deciding which workshops will indeed join. Melissa put something. Yeah, if the workshops, which workshops will make it to the agenda, they said that they had quite a lot of applicants, which is good. So I don't know what the agenda will be like per se, but I'll tell you that there will be a lot of, they're not even workshops, but there will be like a youth summit within the conference. So if you have youth who are interested in participating, we will certainly encourage the council youth members to go and join the youth summit and the conference itself. So anyway, I just wanted to bring it up. So you will look into it and see what your level of interest is, and especially for new council members. Chief, I don't know if you still cannot see because I see the youth summit now thing. That would be something that you might consider if your time allows doing. And for the Hill Day, it will be Molly, Brian, and I meeting with the delegation. It's better to keep the group a little bit under 3, within 3, otherwise it gets too many people. And but Joy already had 3 meetings scheduled for us, haven't you, Joy?
Yeah, we have about 3, one of them with a senator. Today we just got Congresswoman Maxine Dexter set up. So yeah, we're still working on getting a lot more.
So that's what's coming up. So so speaking of the Hill, looks like Molly got to our Oregon Hill.
I did get to the Oregon Hill, so I am officially here. So I am going to sign off. Is that okay?
Yes, and I think we're pretty much at the bottom of the meeting. The only thing before you sign off, the Hill Day is the day of the Juvenile Justice Committee meeting. So we will need to reschedule it. Maybe
Okay.
just push it a week earlier.
Yeah. Yep, let's do that.
So we will do that, and then we will so please expect that the meeting in May will be a week earlier. Or 2 weeks, sorry,
Thank you,
because I
Anya.
think that's the OJDA meeting. So when
We'll
we'll
get it.
figure it
We'll
out.
work it
So
out.
just well, good luck on Oregon Hill, Molly.
All right. Thank you,
The
guys.
future on
Bye-bye.
JCP depends on you. Bye, Molly. So are there any questions? So expect a couple of things from us. First, expect like invite to join smart sheets review and also background for what to look for in in the juvenile crime prevention plans review. Second, a notice of change of meeting time in May, but in April we will go as planned. But before the next meeting in April, we will get together with those of you who are interested in the smart sheets review and what to look for in plans. Does it seem like a plan? And if you're interested in the conference, why were the others? Please let us know. And yeah, Melissa is here. Melissa is the main person who is in charge of making decisions who goes, right, Melissa? On how, if you
Kind of.
No, I'm joking, but we would be working with Melissa on that kind of trouble. Well, I really appreciate you, all of you being here. If you're interested in our juvenile crime prevention funding, there is a public hearing that will start at 1 o'clock today at the Education Subcommittee of Ways and Means, and it's a public testimony day. That's why Molly is there. So fingers crossed. And thank you for joining us. You have my email, you have my contact if you need to chat, have questions, and I'm delighted to see you all here. And thank you. And have a fabulous day. It's not raining. They said it was going to be like thunder and like whatever crazy stuff. I don't know. I look outside and it's pretty for a change. Anyway, let's hope it will continue. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you. Bye.